The internet is still outraged and frustrated about the death of Nolan Wells. And in this video, we're going to be reacting to some TikToks of everybody and their perspective on what they think happened, because y'all just sending out black people to talk to us like we just supposed to accept anything. Not going for it. Also, another one of Nolan Wells' fake ass friends that came out, and guess who he spoke to? Tatum. Who the hell is Tatum? You skipped the parents, you skipped TMZ, you even skipped law enforcement to come speak with Tatum. And we're gonna analyze the footage, because we got people saying that he was uncomfortable when Tatum asked certain questions. Y'all make sure y'all subscribed. Y'all make sure y'all hype this video. Check this out, y'all.
Did y'all catch this?
Obviously, we were in emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat. It's not like we didn't ask Nolan or we just left Nolan. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah. I'm glad.
As a former video journalist, I don't just hear the words, I see the edits. In today's age, every interview is going to be a polished production. And that means you have to look at every single thing with a critical eye. If you watch the whole thing, you're going to see the shift from when he's comfortable talking to when he struggles. You'll see he's very comfortable talking about the island and then going in on protocols for phones and water for 3.5 minutes.
If you drop your phone in salt water, most of the time, you're not going to get it back. Yeah. I mean, you know, especially the water's murky right now.
But the moment that he gets the big question from Tatum that relates to Nolan or any pivotal facts to the case, he struggles to retell that moment.
So, obviously, we were in emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat. It's not like we didn't ask Nolan or we just left Nolan.
He starts, then there's a cut, then wraps it up awkwardly and quickly puts it off to the girl who's on the island. I'm not here to convict, but I can question. If you can give a whole TED talk on phone water safety, you can clearly articulate about leaving the island.
Now, I haven't seen the interview. I really didn't want to get that shit no light, but I'm going to comb through it and I'm going to edit myself and all the mistakes that he made.
Now, we're also not going to skip over the fact that the timing was strategic in them putting out the interview of Warren Hudson, who is one of the boys who was on the boat that day with Nolan Wells and just so happens to be the son or the stepson, whatever, of Judge Ashley Cole. It is no coincidence that on the day that Ben Crump announced that the independent autopsy results were going to be made available, that this interview came out. I also just want to point out that in Ashley Cole's original statement, she said that the reason she deactivated their social media was because we live in an age of clickbait. And so with that in mind, you decided that a day after Nolan Wells' funeral and a day before the independent autopsy results were released was a good time for you to put out an interview that is clickbaity. There was also another friend whose name is Lucas Avis, I believe. And according to him, Nolan Wells was so inebriated that he was slurring his words, which is ironic because Warren Hudson has the exact opposite account of what he saw from Nolan Wells that day. He said that he was fine. Now, again, let me remind you that Warren Hudson's mother, stepmother, whatever she is a judge. So she understands the importance of creating reasonable doubt in an investigation or a case like this, should it go to trial and criminal charges are brought up against her son, stepson, and his friends. The timing is not a coincidence. I'm gonna need y'all to tighten up. I cannot understand why y'all keep platforming somebody who is a known antagonist to the black community while we're watching two black parents grieve the loss of their black son. I cannot understand why y'all keep replaying parts of an interview from someone who claims to be Nolan Wells' brother and best friend, but walked the same shoreline where Nolan Wells' body washed up and did not shed one tear. I seen real gangsters on the stoop screaming, crying at the loss of their homies, and y'all telling me that old buddy from Mississippi ain't shed not one tear? And that's on the dead homies, while he's on a shoreline where a black body washed up. Sounds familiar, don't it? I'm confused about why y'all got more questions about how attorney Ben Crump is pronouncing medical terms, meanwhile he's an attorney, than y'all do about why we still don't have the original autopsy. And they had the body first. I'm confused. I'm confused about why we're listening to someone who claimed to be Nolan Wells' brother, but instead of going to talk to his attorney, y'all keep asking why he didn't talk to police. Bump that. Why you ain't talk to the attorney for the family about what you supposedly know? That's weird. That's suspicious. If that was my best friend, I would be standing anywhere his parents is at, crying with them, demanding answers. But instead, you're doing interviews trying to prove your innocence with somebody who you know is a known antagonist to the Black community. I'ma need us to tighten up. I'ma need us to tighten up. And no shade, Nancy is cool. But Nancy got on here and said the same thing that Black's been saying since July 4th. And y'all going crazy over it. The anti-Blackness is starting to show. I'm gonna need y'all to tighten up.
Well, damn. It looked like I just got cut too. Shit, I just got rebuked. But he's saying some real shit. And it's sad that we can say something for so long, but when white people say it, that's when it's golden. That's why I said in that video, I said, it takes a white woman to come out and say something for everybody's attention. And that's sad. I agree with him. And another reason why I didn't want to react to none of that Tatum shit is because they're about to put on a shit show, y'all. They're about to make it a circus. That's what they're going to try to do. We're not going to let them do it, though.
You are aware that Nolan Wells' friends said one thing, but other witnesses said the opposite. If you remember, Trayston Shepard, if I'm saying his name correctly, originally said that Nolan went off on his own to one of the little islands with some girl that he recently met, left his cell phone back with his group of friends, and was going to get a ride back with this individual, with this female, and or one of her friends. That's what he said. However, the said girl that we just talked about, said the opposite of that. As you can see here, he stated that he took a boat back from the island on the afternoon. Nolan Wells voluntarily stayed behind on the island to talk to a girl he had met. And he said that, again, everyone was good friends. However, according to this girl, she told investigators that she left Horn Island with her own family and assumed Nolan had returned inland with his own group of friends. That contradicts exactly what Treston had to say. He said that he went there and he was just going to go get a ride back with that girl or her friends. Now she's saying the opposite, saying that she was there with her family. Her family's not going to give a random guy a ride back to the island. Now this story is starting to unravel a little bit. We need answers here, guys.
The show The First 48 is based on the significance of the information being discovered in the first 48 hours of a crime. And I'm saying that to say, why in the hell isn't that girl or whoever is making these statements or whoever was said to be around Nolan Wells are not in an interrogation room by now? It's been 16 days, y'all. Still, these people haven't been questioned by authority or none of that.
You mean to tell me an entire neck was removed and wasn't sent along with his body for an independent second autopsy? Remember how Celeste's fingers were removed? Oh, I got time. Let's really wake it the fuck up, because the only reason why a hyoid bone, laryngeal cartilage, a thyroid horn that's in the neck as well, and an entire trachea would be removed from his body prior to sending it for a secondary autopsy is because those specific body parts determined exactly how Nolan was murdered, and that was either strangulation or hanging. 90% of all and your hyoid bone breaks, that's what kills you. And the rest of the parts would have showed constricting. It would have showed damage to the trachea and the laryngeal cartilage and the thyroid horn and everything in the neck. I mean, you just removed the entire neck and didn't send it? Why? Because it determined exactly how Nolan was murdered. Well, they didn't have his lungs there either. You know why? Because they didn't have water in them. Remember, this was all just an accidental drowning. Well, then where are his lungs? So we can determine that in this independent autopsy. Where's the first one? Oh, it's not done yet? Wow, his neck's removed. This is someone's baby. This is someone's child. And you got the medical examiner colluding in a cover-up.
Another powerful point is that they said his body was facing down. Nancy Grace said, okay, if his body was facing down, then why didn't the blood rush to the front of his face? Why is those red discoloration is at the back. They removed his throat, and that's at the back. I'm telling you, bro. A rope was involved, allegedly. So apparently snitching on people ain't just in the black community. That shit going on in the white community too, because this sister say that Warren is dry snitching on Wyatt. Check it out, y'all.
Warren is dry snitching. He's basically telling you Nolan went on the Triton with Wyatt on Wyatt's boat. Letting us know he didn't do it.
I want to go back to you guys at the dock, getting on the boat. You're saying there's multiple people, probably 20 or 30 people getting on 3 boats.
Right.
What boat were you on and what boat was Nolan on?
Nolan was on Wyatt Pyron's 22 Triton. On the way out, I went with my buddy.
Stupid? The question he should have asked him is, why did Nolan not get his phone back after you guys left him on the island? Who does that?
I mean, I grabbed my phone when I left the Palm Beach to get on the boat with Triton. I mean, to get on the boat with Wyatt. We were having, boat issues. And
So let me get this straight, Warren. You grabbed your phone off the boat when you got onto a different boat. So why didn't Nolan grab his phone? You see how stupid this looks? Everybody in their right mind understands how technology works, and that, yeah, you might want to leave your phone on a boat while you're just chilling in the water. But the fact is, after you guys left, and don't even get me started on your best friend, there's nothing in this man's body language that points to this is your best friend. You're not crying. You're not visibly upset. You're not making eye contact. You're doing...
I told y'all, them dark shades. Them dark shades. Your eyes are the window to your soul. They don't have a soul. They don't have a spirit. That's why they keep them dark shades on, so they can hide that they don't have emotions.
Nothing that a best friend would do. Don't even call yourself a best friend of Nolan Xavier Wells, because we all know it's a straight up lie. And if you think you're a best friend, and I didn't even see you at the funeral, and you deleted all your social media presence, and you had your stepmom judge put out statements for you, you guys withheld phones, you withheld car keys from the parents who just want answers and you won't give them to them, you are no best friend to anybody. And I hope justice finds its way for anybody who had anything to do with what happened to that beautiful man, Nolan Xavier Wells.
There y'all have it. That's the end of the video. And I want everybody to understand, we not on our time, y'all. We on God's time. So in a world where we don't get any justice, I want y'all to really think about something. You think with these boys' face being all over the world, and they gotta grow up in this world, they gonna wanna travel. They gonna be at the bar. They gonna wanna hang out at night sometimes. You think that they just gonna be spotted out just like that later on in the future? If they was to get away with this, y'all think that? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man, before I say something crazy on here. Make sure y'all hype this video, subscribe. Big Kish signing out. Gone, y'all.